Stop recording video button.
Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be explaining everything as to how everything went down with me getting my new phone. So I'm just going to jump right into this so this video is not extremely long. Okay, so if you guys remember a couple months ago, it was back in September when I was still using my iPhone 6. Oh, and by the way, I'm doing this video on my new iPhone 7, which I'll get to. But, okay, I hope I'm probably going to sound different, but I got it up and running, which I'll explain. Okay, so for those of you guys that remember, I had my iPhone 6, and in September I was doing videos every day for the whole month of September. I was doing very good with that up until the very end of the month. I was very consistent with it. I was doing really good with the videos every day, and towards the end of the month it was kind of hard to do it because I was running out of room on my phone. But I just did like quick videos because I promised you guys videos and I did not want to go back on my word. And I just explained to you guys what was going on, and then I would need to take a break for a few months. Well, I took a break for a few months. I only recorded maybe like 2 videos, but I took a break and now I'm back. Okay, so I got my iPhone 7. I wasn't really sure when I was gonna get it because I didn't know like when I was gonna have the money for it, and I didn't quite have it yet because I, didn't save enough money, but I was going to go on a plan, and Apple has this upgrade program where you pay like $30, $40 something a month, it depends on which phone you got. So you pay like $40 a month, and then Apple Care is included, and you pay it off. They divide it up into 24 months, so you can pay it off until you own it outright, or you can, after 12 months, you can give the phone back and then you just pay the new phone all over again. Well, the bank, because the thing is, it's a loan. You're taking out a loan. It's not like you are taking out, it's not like something you're getting billed for. It's not like Apple saying, okay, we'll deduct this from your credit card every month. You're taking out a loan, and it comes from a bank or a company. I'm not really sure what it is, but I think it's a bank. But it comes from a company called Citizens One. So it's separate, and it's a loan, and you have to like qualify for it and all that stuff. And you can't use a debit card. You have to use a credit card, which I guess makes sense because it's a loan, so so they're basically they're lending you the money, and like every month I'd be getting billed for it, and I'd be, it would just automatically get deducted from my credit card, and I said and obviously I was totally okay with that. So they explained to me how the plan works, and like I said, I couldn't use my debit card. I had to use my credit card, which was totally okay. That's fine. But I knew that I had enough money to cover it because even though I had to charge a couple Christmas gifts on it, I'm really good with paying it off. I'm really good with paying, at least if I can't pay the whole thing, I'm really good with paying the minimum payment each month. I do it on time. It was just 1 month, okay? I decided, I'm going to charge a couple Christmas gifts. I'm going to take a break from my debt until the holidays are over so I could go Christmas shopping. But, I learned the hard way that, you can't do that because when you do that, it cancels your card until you pay it, and you have to pay a late fee. So, luckily my late fee was only $5, but still, I learned that you can't do that. So anyway, when you're filling this out, you're applying for this loan. So you're filling it out, and basically you have to put in your income. Now, since I'm a college student, I'm just starting out as far as credit is concerned, and since I'm blind, I'm getting SSI. So basically what we could have done was we could have just put in like how much I make each month, and just did a little math, just multiplied that number by 12. But what we did was I put 0 because I didn't think SSI counted. So I gave them my credit card, and they just said that it was invalid and I do not qualify for the loan. And I was really upset. I was like, at that point I was upset, thinking, oh no, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna leave without the phone? I had no idea what was gonna happen. So they basically said, well, I can give you the number, you can call, you know, they'll probably get back to you within about an hour, and, you know, you can, you know, see what you can do, figure out what's going on, what happened, or you could just buy it outright. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy it outright. And you know, the thing is, it didn't really make much of a difference anyway, because the phone itself was like $850, and I would, even if I was paying it off every month, I would still be paying it anyway. So either way, I'm still paying the same price. The only difference is I'd be paying it off within like a longer period of time rather than just paying the whole thing up front. But I guess now it's better because I own this phone outright. I'm not paying anything off for the next 2 years. So I guess it's better. And they say, you know, everything happens for a reason. Okay. So basically, I decided to get my, you know, to buy my phone outright, and pay, you know, the full price. So yeah, because I had my Christmas money and my mother helped me a little bit, but I definitely paid like 98% of it. So yeah, I paid a huge chunk. So yeah, basically what happened was, since I don't have an income, since I don't work, and I don't really have credit established, they obviously were not going to allow me to qualify for the loan, because, you know, in order to have a loan, you have to have good credit, you have to, you know, have an income, because if you don't have an income, you obviously can't have a loan, because how are you going to pay it? And, you know, they check, because, you know, obviously anybody can go in and say, oh, I make $1 million, you know, so obviously I'm sure they check. So that happened, and I was upset, and I was like, well, you know what, it's all good. I got the phone, and I don't have to worry about paying it off for 2 years, and obviously I'm going to build up my credit, and I'm really good with paying off my debt, so I don't think my credit card was the issue. I just think it was the fact that I'm like a beginner. I really don't have an income. I'm a college student. You know, I don't really have good credit yet. So because it didn't say what was going on. It didn't say like insufficient fund, or you don't have good credit, or, you know, it said no income. It didn't really say why I didn't qualify. I just said I didn't qualify, and I was like, I took down the number just like in case I wanted to call the Citizens One company anyway, just to see what's going on. But I didn't. I was like, you know what? Because like that way we could just figure out, just even though I didn't get it, it'd still, you know, be able to figure out what's going on, or why I didn't get the loan. But I didn't. You know, I just let it go. So I decided to buy the phone outright, and I really like it so far. Now, if I didn't buy the phone, you know, they obviously would have put the phone back, but we would have been back at the Apple store anyway, so my mother and I were just like, okay, let's get it over with today, because the Apple store was crazy packed. I kid you not, it was crazy in there. Like, you could not move, especially around this time of year. It was crazy. Okay, so I got my phone, I went home, and I backed everything up. So onto the iCloud backup. So when I posted the quick video before saying I'm back, and by the time you guys see this video, you'll have already seen that video. But when I posted the video before saying, you know, I'm back, I was using my iPhone 6 because this phone was still backing up my stuff. So I plugged it in because it has to be plugged in and locked and connected to Wi-Fi, otherwise it won't do it. So when I went from my first iPhone to my second iPhone, which was my 5 to my 6, I had no problem. I did it. It literally, like, everything was backed up overnight. Like, I woke up the next morning, everything was, like, backed up, so I guess it finished in the middle of the night. So all I had to do was log into all my apps. Everything was great. Everything went really well. But this time, it just got stuck at a certain point, and there was no progress at all. It was at, like, 55%, and there was no progress at all whatsoever. So I basically I was like, okay, you know, I'm just going to leave it alone for a few hours. I did. People on Twitter were like, just leave your phone alone. Just leave it alone. You know, let it do its thing. But it wasn't doing its thing. It wasn't going through, because I know what it's supposed to do, because I did it through iTunes when I did it the first time, when I went from my 5 to the 6. So I was like, okay, something's not right. This is not normal. And I've heard that a lot of people have been known to have issues when they do it through the iCloud, so I was like, all right, this is really weird. So basically what I did was I decided to do it through iTunes. Now my iTunes was out of date, so I had to install the, the more updated version, if that makes sense. So I had to get the more updated version of iTunes. I made sure my old phone, or my 6, was backed up, and it was. And I picked, my 6. And I was able to do it that way, and it went a lot faster. I mean, it still had to download all my apps, all my music and all that, but it went a lot faster. So now I just kind of have to like go in and like log into everything again, but that's really not a problem. I mean, because I just have to do it once, and I won't have to go through this again for another like 2 or 3 years. So it's really not a big deal. I mean, it's a lot faster to do it through iTunes, and I personally think that the way through iCloud is easier because you could just like leave your phone alone, let it charge, let it do its thing. But for me, it wasn't doing anything. It was just getting stuck. So I was like, okay, this is really weird. So yeah. So anyway, I got my new phone up and running. And as far as what I'm going to do with my 6, I decided I'm just going to use it as an iPod for right now. So yes, we do have a spare phone in the house just in case, my mother's or my brother's phone, or even, if something happens to this phone, we have a spare phone in the house. But I decided I'm going to use it as an iPod because my actual iPod is too old for iOS 10. So if anybody needs it, it's very easy to just wipe it clean and just reset it back to factory defaults, which is obviously what I would do. So yeah. So basically, so that's basically it, just wanted to explain to you guys everything my iPhone 7. And one more thing I wanted to mention was that when I did the backup through iTunes, my library was like still there because I had like all the stuff from like my other phones, other backups and stuff. So it put all my music on this phone. It put apps on this phone that I got rid of like years ago that I don't want. So I'm going to have to go in and get rid of all that stuff because there's some stuff on here that I do not want. And luckily all that stuff fits on this phone because I have a 256 gig phone. So like I said, you guys will be seeing a lot more of me, and I'm really looking forward to it, to being back to YouTube. And yeah, so I'm gonna go, and I will see you guys in my next video. Alright, bye everybody.